Lee Haney at the 1991 Mr. Olympia versus Dorian Yates at the 1992 Mr. Olympia, when he won the title for the first time but did not have the chance to avenge his loss to Lee in 1991. I've already reviewed Lee versus Dorian at the 1991 Mr. Olympia and thought it would be nice to pair Lee against Dorian at the 92 Mr. Olympia to see whether he could have won the title for the 9th time, or could Dorian have defeated him. The front double biceps shows that they both have wide chest and lats, but Lee has the longer torso and the smaller waist. He also hits the vacuum pose. They both did not have the best biceps out there, but by taking a look at their pose in 91, we can see that Lee had the better ripped arms. Dorian absolutely improved in 92, but I would still go with Lee in this pose. The front lat spread shows that they both have wide and dense lats, which allow them to hit the pose perfectly. Back then, these two were the best in hitting the front and the rear lat spread. It could go either way between the two in this pose, but I like Dorian's pose more. I like the way his shoulders flow with his chest and lats. In my opinion, Dorian hits the greatest front lat spread of all time. The side chest shows that Lee has the more massive and denser chest, but I never liked the way his lower chest looks in this pose. Dorian did not have the best chest out there and definitely cannot match Lee in the chest size and density, but he still hits the pose perfectly and looks more aesthetic and pleasant to the eye. They both show great conditioning with visible striations. Although I like Dorian's pose more, Lee would win the side chest. They both hit an incredible back double biceps. Back then, these two were the best in the back poses. Lee might be wider, but Dorian is more shredded. They both have ripped arms, shoulders, and traps, but Dorian's lats and lower back are better conditioned. By taking a look at their pose in 91, you can see that Lee was bigger, but Dorian was more ripped and better conditioned, especially in the lats and the lower back areas. Now keep in mind that Dorian improved a lot in 92 and added size, so Lee's size will not be of great advantage as it was in 91. It would be so close between the two in this pose, but Dorian would win it. The same goes with the rear lat spread, as Lee had the advantage in 91, but this shot for Dorian from 92 Mr. Olympia is mind-blowing. In my opinion, he also hits the greatest rear lat spread of all time. Notice the size, the width, and the conditioning he shows in his lats and traps. Lee definitely had the width, but not this conditioning which Dorian shows, and reached the pinnacle in 1993. Even at the 91 Mr. Olympia, one could argue that Dorian was better conditioned. Lee was bigger and wider, but Dorian added serious size in 92. The density and the separation he shows in his lats, traps, and lower back are beyond Lee. The side triceps shows Lee's phenomenal conditioning in the year he won his last Olympia title and announced his retirement. Notice the striations he shows everywhere. His triceps were impressive, and I would say they even look better than his biceps. But I still think that Dorian had the better horseshoe triceps. After watching them both posing, I believe that Dorian's triceps were on another level, and the way he hit the pose was more aesthetic. Lee's abs were arguably among his least impressive areas, as they were not symmetrical or aesthetic. Although Dorian did not have the best abs out there, they were still more symmetrical and better ripped. Unfortunately, there are no abs and thighs pictures to show their quads, but overall, Dorian would win this pose. Dorian's most muscular might be among his least impressive poses, contrary to Lee, who used to hit a very impressive pose, making use of his traps, which show perfectly in this pose along with his shredded chest, shoulders, and arms. Notice the incredible level of muscles maturity Lee shows in this pose. I always admired the feathers he used to show in his chest, along with the split which shows phenomenal conditioning. So Lee would win the front double biceps, the side chest, and the most muscular, while Dorian would win the front lat spread, the back double biceps, the rear lat spread, the side triceps, and the abs and thighs. I am not saying that I'm certain of the result. All I'm saying is that Dorian greatly improved in 92 and would definitely have a better chance defeating Lee. Let me know what you think about this matchup, and don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.